Hello and welcome to Offstage. My name is Shamanabia and today we will be talking to Eugene and Daniel from the band All Hands. But today we are going to do things a little bit different. So before we start the interview and the conversation with them, we are first going to listen to their radio edit song called Mandy.
Time, I promise that I'll spot you one. The hardest part of running is knowing when your time is done. Just put me in the back and drive real slow. Put me in the back and drive real slow. Mandy drives the truck, you know she is a special one. Whatever life throws at her, when she hits the ground she runs. Just put me in the back and drive real slow. Put me in the back and drive real slow. I'm tired for so long. My God is a fire.
What an amazing song from All Hands. The song's name is called Mandy and it is now available on all major platforms. And now to officially start the episode, we have Daniel and Eugene.
Hi.
I'm Daniel. I sing and I play guitar for All Hands.
Hi, I'm Eugene. I play guitar for All Hands.
He also sings a little bit.
How long have you guys been a band?
Yeah, that's an interesting question. Eugene and I have been playing together for the last about 15 years. For the first time we started playing together was about 15 years ago in a different band way back when we just finished school. And then we didn't see each other for a bit. And I think it was 2 years ago, I hit him up and I told him, yeah, I'm going to my mid-30s now and I want to make a final push and see if we can do something, that actually works. And it took us about a year and a half to get the rest of the guys involved. We were very picky and we wanted to be sure that the people that we do get involved were on the same page as us. So we've been an official band for I think just under 2 years now. But we've only started playing last week. Friday was our first show actually. So yeah, it's we've been going for a while, but the actual performing side of it is fairly new.
Okay, wait. So this absolutely blew my mind because I thought that you guys have been a band for way longer and you've done the whole journey. So just finding out that you guys did your first show together like last week. How was that? And also you released your first EP.
One of the songs is a radio edit of one of of the previous release we did, Mandy.
Yeah, we recorded one song a bit earlier. Towards the end of last year, we did one song, and then we just did the album now.
Yeah, basically we would have started playing at the start of April. The gig was literally on the day that lockdown started. So
yeah, we had about 4 or 5 shows lined up, and literally the day before our first show, the lockdown kicked in, which was obviously shit, but it gave us the opportunity because we weren't really sure how we're going to approach this thing. And pardon me. And we thought that we would do it the traditional way, that you start playing some shows, generate some interest, and then do an album or EP or something, and go from there. But the whole thing with lockdown kind of changed that up. So we went into studio first then, and we did the EP. And we decided, okay, cool, let's get this thing down. Let's record 6 songs, get it out there, and then start doing some shows. And that's how it's happened.
That is so crazy. So what was the experience like for you, knowing that you guys recorded the album first and then performed it?
It was great. We're very lucky in the sense that everyone involved with the band is really serious about it, and they take it. Yeah, it's a big deal. And that was also the conversation that we had at the beginning of this: is if we're going to do this, we need to do it, and not just half-ass it. So the EP thing was great because we had to practice our asses off, to be ready to record the EP, and we just kept on going with that thing. So we did 6 to 8 hours a week now for the last couple of months. We've been practicing, and that's great because it's obviously you get tight as a band, but also you learn a lot about the guys you're playing with, and it's cool because the songs you start out with, even at the start of the EP, they really develop more and more the more you play together, and the more you have opportunities like we've had playing together for extended periods of time, and not really having something to work towards, because there was a long time that we didn't have any shows lined up for the bigger part of lockdown, and it was great. It was fantastic. It was a different way of doing it for me as well. I've been in different bands as well, in Eugene as well. It's the first time I've done it like this, and it was fantastic. I would really recommend it. It was great. It was a really good experience.
So you guys recorded the EP at Jacob Studios. So what was that like working with them? Because I know quite a lot of people work with them as well. And just to be on top of that list as well must have been like really amazing.
Yeah, the album was recorded by Evil Honey. And
he plays bass for LA Cobra.
Yeah, and he's now sort of moved on to another opportunity. But the studio itself was, and the people were amazing. Thomas from Jacob is an amazing guy.
Yeah,
he was so easygoing. I think we had 1 or 2 noise complaints during the during the recording sessions, but all in all, they were so willing to accommodate us with everything. We spent a lot of time mixing on the project, longer than we actually should have, but they were very, very nice about the whole process.
Yeah, I'm very fussy, so we were. So I ended up sitting with Ewald doing the mixing for the thing, and this is something that could very easily have been a very frustrating experience for them and for us, but it really wasn't. It was this wonderful thing, and it's really encouraging that because obviously you wrote the album, you care a lot about it, and you've been playing the songs together for a while, and the more you play it, the more you care. And then bringing it to someone like the guys at Jacob and having them immediately buy into it and immediately get it, and really from the get-go, they were like, shit, this is something, and they want to get involved, and they don't want to just record us. They actually want to take us and run with us, and it was absolutely fantastic. It's the best recording experience that I've had so far.
That's so amazing, because I've only heard great things from Jacob and the engineers that they have there. So
yeah, they're good guys, huh?
They are, and really friendly guys as well, and hardworking.
And they're obviously organizing the Rockdown Festival this week.
Yeah.
Of course. And that would be, I guess, your second live performance together?
Yeah, that's going to be our second show, is this Friday.
How are you guys feeling about doing the Rockdown show?
Very good. The first one was very stressful. It was cool. It was a good experience. It was a great experience. It was at Urban Sessions. It was a fantastic experience, but it's difficult, especially if it's your first show, because there's no audience. It's an absolute streaming show, and it is hard, and it's very far out of your comfort zone. I think Rockdown we feel a lot more comfortable about. We know the guys, we know them well. Ewald, who's going to do the sound, they mixed and recorded us, so he knows our sound, completely. I'm good about it. I think it's one of the shows that I've played so far, and all the shows that I've played before, that I'm the less stressed about. It's just because, you know, if you've got a good team doing the thing and good people working with it, that, you know, you just feel more comfortable and safe.
And it's great to be featured along with
Yeah.
all those amazing acts. I mean, you're on the same lineup as Dan Patlansky, Black Cat Bones, Indie Dog, Zebra, who've been shooting the lights out recently in the Pretoria scene. So, yeah, man, it's great.
And they're taking a chance on us as well, because they locked us in for the show before we had any other shows. They locked us in already. So this was, I think, supposed to be our first one, actually. And then we hooked up another one. But it's excellent. It's really refreshing because, I mean, you get, especially if you've been doing this for a while and you've been working with other people, it gets very discouraging sometimes, especially with trying to communicate the band's idea to the studios or to the venues. It gets frustrating. And the experience with Vali Jakob has just not been like that at all. It's just been a fantastic thing from the start.
From a band's perspective, how would you guys say that you got into the Rockdown Festival? So say, for instance, for up and coming artists, and like, how would you like guide them to be where you guys are? I mean, for your second show, you guys are doing Rockdown Festival. So how did you guys manage that or get that gig?
I think the biggest thing is don't be a dick, you know. No, be nice and see each other, see other people and be open to other people. And people in bands have this tendency to take their craft very seriously and think that what they're doing or what we're doing is the beginning, the beginning and the end of everything. But it's not. It's everyone involved that makes the thing. I think the sooner you realize that, and the sooner you realize that you're only as strong as the teams you're working with, then you can do things. And I think that's really something that I would suggest to up and coming bands and people starting out and people trying to get places, is just don't be a dick, man. Be nice, be open, be, you know, and be flexible, you know, because the thing, often you've got an idea of how things work and that's quite often not the right way, you know. So be open to people suggesting things and telling you things and, you know, kind of criticizing you. But yeah, so I would really say just be nice, be open and be friendly, and don't take your craft that seriously. I mean, I know we all care about what we do, but at the end of the day, we're all doing it because we want to have fun. So just have fun.
Exactly. I mean, a lot of people take themselves way too seriously.
We started out in the early 2000s as a different band. We started out as a band called Jeffrey Starlight.
That's now me and Eugene, yeah.
Yeah, and well, basically, the scene was very different then. The venues were different.
Yeah, we used to play at Nile Crocodile.
Yeah, the old Nile Crocodile in Glenwood, which was absolutely fantastic. And we did have a bit of a chip on our shoulders. And it definitely alienates you from people that would want to work with you and bands that want to play with you. And it's sort of a steep learning curve, actually. And it's important to reach out, be nice. And yeah, I mean, and sort of being more just humble about what you're doing has put a lot of amazing people on our path, like Bas de Beer, which, I mean, he was just
shout out to Bas de Beer.
Yeah, what an amazing guy. Yeah, so just be nice, be friendly.
It sounds very self-helpy, but the idea is that be teachable. I think that's and it sounds horrible to say it because it sounds all. But it's really a thing, is be teachable, be open. Yeah.
What would you say is the most difficult part of being in a band?
It depends. I think
Carrying your gear around.
Honestly, I think that changes. I think that changes the older you get. When we were younger, a big part of that was discipline. Now it's time. The older you get, time becomes a significant thing. You really have to make time for it, and you need to kind of approach it as if it's a second job and really put time aside for it and have a thing that you say, okay, cool. These nights we're doing this for this many hours. It doesn't matter how shit your day was or how bad you feel, you're going to do it anyway. So that's one of the big challenges to being a band that's a bit older. We're all in our 30s except for our drummer, who's basically 20. So that is definitely a challenge, is time management. Yeah, I would say that's for me the biggest thing. And then again is ego. Because you know the guys, especially if you're lucky enough to play with good musicians, and everyone has an ego. I mean, that's inevitable. So kind of figuring out where everyone lies in the room and where, you know, everyone's place is and stuff. I think we were very lucky with that because we decided from the get-go, okay, me as Daniel, I'm going to do this. Eugene, he does that. Ludolf does that. Albert, the bassist, he does that. And Christo, the drummer, he does that. And I think that really helps as well, is defining your roles outside of the actual just playing from the start, that really helps a lot. Yeah.
Definitely. And I mean, for a lot of people, like, because I've spoken to quite a few solo artists and like, quite a few bands. So for solo artists, I think for them, it's like the best part of not being in a band is like you can do kind of whatever you want. And then most people are like, no, it's better to be in a band because it's fuller, I guess. And like there's no
You
dead
know what it
space. There's
is?
someone to have your back.
It's about being in a band. That's it. It's about being in a band.
It's being, yeah, like you stated, it's having someone having your back.
Yeah.
It's walking into a room as a unit. It's being the guys that are sort of there for one another. And being a solo artist, yes, you're out there on your own and it's a very big thrill, but playing in a band,
It's different, man.
it's camaraderie.
And if you're lucky and you've got good guys and you get along well, they really become your family.
Yeah, it's like brothers.
Yeah.
Well, obviously brothers and sisters.
Yeah, but I did before I did this band, I did about 10 years of just doing solo shows. And that's cool and it's great and it's rewarding, but it's nothing compared to the feeling that you get when you do a show and you walk off stage with a bunch of guys and you look at each other and you're like, fuck yeah, we did this. This is us.
It's like a springboard, like working from one another, just sort of having the drummer sort of just doing that full precisely correctly. It's a wonderful feeling. No, it's amazing.
Yeah, being a solo artist is cool. Being in a band is better.
I can only imagine that it must be such a great feeling to walk off stage and like, we just did this. Like, it must be so amazing. And knowing that like whatever happens, your bandmates have your back and they know you almost better than anybody else. Because I know a lot of people say that being in a band is like being married ×4 because it's very committed.
It is. It's intense because I mean, there's 4 guys, so it's it's in our case 5 guys. It is. It's hard, and again, like I said, you have to work with anyone does have an ego. You have to work with that, and you're working with people that your spouse or your partner. They kind of signed up for all your shits, but with the band, they don't necessarily sign up for everything they're getting. And it's really interesting to see how people, grow into each other and start understanding each other better. And I mean, and again, I don't think it works like this for every band. I think we were exceptionally lucky that the group of people that we got together, and we never thought it because we're all, I mean, me and Eugene, we've been doing shit together for 15 years, but the other guys we pulled in, it's the first time we played with them. And I think we were very lucky that we just, clicked from the start. And there's really something to having done a thing and looking at each other and just going, fuck yeah, that was cool. We got it. And, being able to share that with people is incredible. Because at the end of the day, I think very few bands, especially local bands, expect that you're going to do a couple of shows and then suddenly you're going to tour Europe and you're going to do America. A lot of it is grinding, and a lot of it is going to be, doing the shit shows you don't necessarily want, playing venues you don't necessarily want to play because you have to do the grind in order for you.
Obviously, we've never seen these venues.
We were very lucky so far. But I mean, I imagine that'll happen in the future. We play someplace and, I don't know. But so I think we were very lucky. But it's about the people you're with, man. And that at the end of the day, that makes the band. And we've got this massive thing that we say on all our things is all hands as a band. And that's something we're very proud of, is that the whole idea that we're a unit, we're a band. We're not 5 guys playing, we're a band playing as one.
Exactly. So with that being said, how did you guys form the band? Because I know that you guys said that you're very picky and the two of you have been performing together and playing together for the last 15 years. But how did you guys get the rest of the band?
It started as a war of attrition. This is actually cycle 6 of Daniel and my friendship. We start up the band, Eugene gets irritated. I just sort of become extremely hard-headed. Daniel's different ideas, and we just sort of don't speak for years and years. And this is sort of like this 5th or 6th
incarnation. 5th or 6th, I forget, yeah.
And and it's just, I don't know, it's basically us just sort of playing together. We actually had so many other members, but
we went through a bunch of guys, and we were lucky in this because we didn't have to fire anyone. We were very lucky with that.
They either decided to grow up, start families, get pregnant.
Yeah, that was a big
Shout out to Nell.
Yeah, we had a girl, a woman, rather, that was our bassist, and she dropped the bomb on us just before we started getting it. Yeah, she's out because she's getting a baby.
Amazing.
Good for her. That's amazing.
That's
better than having a band.
So yeah, and we was actually asked to play a wedding with one of our friends, Ludolf,
Mm.
Ludolf Malan, and
He's the third guitarist. We've got 3 guitars, yeah.
yeah, and we decided to sort of rope him in because he played for Late Night Fox, which were this amazing disco indie rock act that was just amazing. And their vocalist went on to form the great Yawn, which are currently indie darlings in the scene. And Doodle thought he was getting a wedding band, but we sort of roped him into All Hands, and he was there. Albert was an old school friend that we knew.
I was in school. We were all, me and Eugene and Albert, we were in school together. Eugene was a year or two ahead of us, and Albert and I were together. We all, interestingly enough, the 3 of us, we all worked on the school newspaper at the same time. But I think how it actually worked at the end was I had this idea that I wanted to have a band, and I knew from the start that Eugene was the guy that I wanted to be my guitarist, because I remember, even though we've had some shit through the years, consistently he's the guy that I've enjoyed playing with the most. And I approached him and I told him, okay, cool, I've got this idea for a band. And he was very skeptical at first. It took a lot of convincing, and I had to do, I think, 3 or 4 acoustic shows with him to prove that I'm committed. But then I hooked him, and then once I got him, then the whole thing just kind of happened naturally. We went through a couple of members, and it didn't work out, and everything didn't. And then we found, I think we found Rudolph, and then we found Albert, and then we
went to a nursery.
And we went to a primary school. No, and then we did this open audition for this kid we've never met that we heard about in some WhatsApp group for bands, and his name's Chris too. And I remember it was at Eugene's house, and the guy walks in, and he's 19 or 20 or something. And I was thinking, what are we doing? You know, it's this kid in this room, and he just started playing, and he's a machine, man. I mean, he's got, he's incredible.
Little steam metronome.
So, and it just happened, yeah. And all the guys, it just gelled, yeah.
That's so funny how you refer to it as like going to the nursery show.
He's a baby.
So, I mean...
It also makes band dynamics quite interesting.
It does. So, with that also being said, and not calling you guys old, but you guys like self-admitted that you are obviously older than what he is. So...
Ancient.
Well, I mean, no. You get like a lot of older people, and luckily you're not playing at nurseries, so like old age homes, so you're still good. So
not yet. I mean, it's a lucrative market.
Hey man, a show's a show.
It's money.
So okay, so a weird question for you. What do you think the weirdest show will be for you guys? Like if you guys had to think like way out the box, what do you think is the weirdest show that you will probably do?
Perhaps a paying gig.
The weirdest show. Okay. The weirdest show for me. I've got this thing that I hate doing sit-down shows. I can't stand it. If you listen to the album, if you hopefully see the performance we're doing on Friday, we're not a heavy band per se, but it's very high energy. And for me, the weirdest shows have always been these ones you've had. I remember the old Cafe Barcelona used to have this thing where they had a pillar in the middle of the stage, and everyone sat at tables, and you would play there, and you would play your heart out, and everyone would just be absolutely just clap their hands, and nobody got up. And so that for me is something I really struggle with. So that's weird. I think the weirdest show that I will play probably would be at an old age home. Funnily enough, I'll do that. I don't have an issue with that. So yeah, it sucks playing for people that don't stand up. It really does. It's always been for me a very difficult show to play. I've played it a couple of times, and I love the guys, and shout out to them. They're fantastic, and they do the best work. But it's always, especially if you're one of the early bands playing, it's always it's a weird show because everyone's sitting down, they're kind of getting their groove on, and they're still, kind of slipping into the thing. And then you get out there, it's in the middle of the afternoon. You know what? Scratch all that day shows in the middle of the day. Fuck that. That sucks. Yeah. The worst, yeah. So it's really challenging. I really don't like playing for people that don't stand up. Even if they don't like it, just fucking stand up. I hate playing for people who sit down. I really don't enjoy it.
Yeah, like at least if you're gonna watch the show, appreciate the musicians and the art that goes into this.
Yeah, I've got a thing that even if you don't like the band, at least have the respect to stand up. You don't have to like the band. You don't have to buy the album. You don't have to go crazy. But And this counts for all of us, because I mean, watching any band, and let this be a note for everyone listening, is that if you ever watch a band, just stand the fuck up and just, give them that. Because I mean, these guys, everyone works their asses off to do something for you. And even if it doesn't speak to you directly, they're still working their butts off. So just have respect for the process. Even if you don't like the band, respect the idea, and just, again, just be nicer to each other.
Exactly. Appreciate the bands that actually do effort, or not even like
Exactly.
just the bands that do effort. Appreciate musicians in general and
Exactly.
artists. As artists and as like very diverse group, how would you guys say that you protect your money makers, if I can put it in that way? So obviously, Daniel, you do vocals, you do guitar, so you do quite a lot for the band.
Daniel
And
does squats. Daniel protects that moneymaker. And he shakes that moneymaker.
Try not to scream. Actually, this is funny that you asked this. We had the first show on Friday, and the week before that, I actually tore my voice for the first time I've ever done that, because I was pushing a bit too hard, and I scream and I yell quite a lot. And it really kind of shook me and made me realize, and this was like 2 weeks ago, that I really need to start looking after my voice. Not that I'm this fantastic vocalist, it's just something that the older you get, when you're young, you're strong and you're full of vim and you can do anything. And the older you get, you kind of have to realize that, you have to look after yourself. We're probably the most boring band in the world. I mean, we've got this strict no drinking policy before shows and things like that. And so we're very dull in that sense. But I think really I broke my hand, my right hand, I broke one of my knuckles about a year ago. And that was a big wake-up call for me, and realizing that, shit, man, you're not made of stone and you can actually hurt yourself. And if you do this and if you fuck it up, you're going to fuck up the whole thing you want to do. So, again, just take care of yourself. I know everyone has got different limits and everyone has got different, places where you can push yourself. But I think it's very important that you need to identify where yours is and stick with it.
And wipe your strings after gigs and practices.
Yes. And respect your gear. Even if you're playing on cheap instruments, respect your gear. Even if you're playing on shit amps or shit guitars, it doesn't fucking matter. Just respect your shit. Look after your stuff.
and the crew.
And look after each other's stuff. That's the other thing. Respect the drummer's gear. Respect the bassist's gear. It's not just you, it's everyone.
There's this interesting story. Billy Corgan sort of playing from the Smashing Pumpkins, playing this gig for the, I think it was the Gish sessions. They played this gig in Chicago, and after the gig, one of the roadies just sort of came to him and said, "Well, Billy, your guitar just walked out of here at the back." And I think it was last year, I think, he actually, someone called him up after many attempts to actually find the guitar again.
Yeah, I mean, this was 20 years ago now.
30
years ago. 30 years ago. It's ages ago.
30 years ago. And they found the guitar in perfect condition, as is in someone's house. And he was reunited with the guitar after 30 years. I think that's quite cool.
That's a nice story. I like that.
So someone just stole his guitar and like kept it in perfect condition, and after 30 years.
I mean, but this happens, I know when Makeovers did a tour, I think it was last year or the year before, the Makeovers did a tour in Europe, and all their gear was stolen. I mean, how shit must that be? I mean, they're touring Europe, this is fucking great, we're doing it, and then all their gear got stolen out of the van. I mean, that must fucking suck. That must be the fucking worst thing. Yeah. So it does happen.
It must be the worst thing, like rocking up to a show and it's like, oh, we don't have anything. I mean, that must be horrendous.
And I mean, they opened for the OCs at that point.
Yeah, the OCs, yeah.
So, I mean, you're going to do a show with the OCs and then you don't have any gear. I mean, that must suck. That must be the worst feeling in the world. You're finally there. You're finally doing a show with one of these bands that you look up to. And then all your gear stolen. Anyway.
Did they end up performing with someone else's gear? Did the OCs give them their gear?
They were very lucky that the community pulled in, and I think they got some of it back. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, I'm speaking under correction, but if I'm not mistaken, they got crowdfunding to buy themselves some more gear after that. They've got great fans. They're a great band. They're great guys. They do really hard work, and I think that really shows. So when that happened, they were lucky enough to have a big enough support system to carry them through it, which is all you need and all you want. Yeah,
definitely. So with that also being said, what do you guys think is the most important part of not only being in a band, but being a band and all hands, and like kind of a public face, I guess, for your own band?
Don't be a dick. That's the big thing. And practice, man. The most important thing is practice. It really is.
Yeah, I mean, all you have is your craft. So just sort of,
It sounds very boring and dull, but it's true. You need to work. Put in the work.
you can be. And I think, I mean, in light of lockdown and in light of all the regulations that sort of almost killed the industry, I mean, be sensitive to what's going on. I think venues have been struggling, bands have been struggling. I mean, I've heard of so many musicians currently living out of their cars. We've been fortunate to having day jobs, and
Well, some of us. Be kind to each other, man. Look after each other and be kind to each other. And even if you don't like the guy, be kind to him anyway. Because, and that's really something that's, I think, our industry is pretty good with that. Or what I've seen of it, at least, is it's people are good to each other. And I know I keep saying be nice and don't be a dick, but it's something that's really overwhelming to me, because I've been a dick most of my life. And the moment I stopped being like that and just started being more open and being kinder to people, the world really does respond in favor. I think that's a very important lesson for everyone, is just, again, be kind to the people around you, be good to the people around you, know your craft, be good at what you do, but realize that it's not just you, it's everyone together.
Exactly. So, guys, the very, very last question that I have for you is, who would you say, okay, wait, I feel like there's going to be more than one. There's probably going to be like 2 weird questions. So,
All right.
the first one,
3.
definitely, I wanted to say 3, and I was like, should I push my luck to 3?
We literally just poured ourselves some new whiskey, so let's. I mean, we're good to go.
Okay, great. Okay, so the first question that I have for you guys is, well, not the first weird one is, who would you guys say are you when you are not on stage?
Oh,
That's
we're dads. We're boring.
I need to make this really clear that none of us are actually dads, but
No, we're homemakers. We work in the garden. We paint our houses.
I like to make food.
Donnie's he's a very proficient chef. He's an amazing chef. I tend to just sort of lounge around and sort of try to keep the dogs happy.
Eugene's being humble. Eugene is my finance guy.
Hence why is nothing.
No, I'm married. Eugene's married. Albert is married as well. Our wives are a very big part of our band, a very big part of our lives. Oh, we got things. We're very boring people, actually. It's like Eugene said, we like gardening. I like making food. Yeah.
And we actually wanted to ask you a question, Shimon.
Yes.
I mean, you've been doing this for a while, and most of the bands you've interviewed are sort of middle class, sort of white guys, sort of doing things. Don't we bore you to bits?
Aren't we the dullest band you've ever spoken to?
Not even in the slightest. Like, not even close. Like, and I'm not even just saying this. Like, I've interviewed like quite a lot of people, and there wasn't like one interview where I was like, this is really stupidly boring. So with that being said, you guys aren't boring at all.
We listen, shout out to 3s and 7s, awesome people. We listen to the podcast, and they are so infuriatingly nice and good guys. We absolutely hate and loathe them. Hi guys, we love you. Actually, you guys are really talented. When we'll see you at the Rockdown Festival. Don't hate us.
I think it's as with everything. I think it's very important to have a balance. I mean, the band is what you do, and the band is, it's the drive and it's the dream. But I think the more you do outside the band, the more you can bring to the band, and that's basically what it comes down to. And it doesn't have to be artistic stuff. If you're lucky enough and you've got a job that is in the arts, then you're very lucky. But most of us, we don't. We've got, I used to run a restaurant and stuff before lockdown, and Eugene's a financial person, and Albert, I think, is something to do with computers. I'm not sure. I suck at this. But and I think that really actually does bring a lot to the table, is the things that you bring to the band that, that doesn't necessarily have anything to do with the music. It really helps the band grow and become, kind of a fleshed out thing that's alive, and not just people playing music, but it's real people actually getting together, taking time out of their very busy days. Busier for some of us than, like, for me, who doesn't have a job, but taking time out of our busy days.
He's just busy studying.
Yeah, and I study. That's what I do. I study.
Wait, that is so insane. So what are you busy studying?
I'm busy doing a course for teaching English to foreign language students at the moment. Yeah. That's what I'm
That
doing
is
now.
so cool. So, are you planning on leaving South Africa to go teach?
No, he is
No,
not.
no, no,
Not
no,
ever.
no,
Not
no,
ever,
no,
ever,
no,
ever.
no,
No,
that's
he
not.
might.
No,
He might.
that's not on the cards.
He's going to get us gigs in Korea.
See, I'm a very bad professional student. My wife's a good professional student because she's got 2 master's degrees. I've only got 1 degree and I'm busy with my second one. I've been studying for 10 years. So I'm a very bad professional student, but I really just enjoy studying, and I enjoy something that I went back to quite late at UNISA and did my degree in history and English. And it's something that I really enjoyed and that really opened my mind and really just broadened my horizons again. Yeah, but no, there's no leaving. South Africa is king. Fuck yeah.
And especially like the people. I feel like we have such friendly people.
I can say with a full heart and with an honest heart that South Africa is the fucking tits. Yeah. Fuck yeah. That sounded horrible.
Sexism aside.
I'm sorry, that's terrible. South Africa rocks. South Africa's fucking shit. Okay. No, I love this country. It's a great place. It's fantastic. And I won't move. I don't think any of us.
Next question.
Yes, move on.
So, my next question is, so I saw that you guys have a song called Friends with Pools.
Yes, ask us this.
Well
This is a
done,
good
well
question.
done.
Yes, go.
So with that, I don't know if you guys are expecting this question, and I don't want to disappoint you by the question that I might
Go,
ask.
shoot.
So you guys are also friends, I guess, with a band called Friends with Pools.
Friends with Pools.
We're friends with the Friends with Pools. That's my brother. The vocalist for Friends with Pools is Luke Knitzer. I'm Daniel Knitzer. It's my little brother. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So now I understand the love that's going on.
It's a
'cause I
nod.
saw-
It's a, yeah.
No, Daniel wants to answer this question, but he's not going to because he won't word it correctly. But the idea with Friends with Pools, it's absolutely the idea of brotherhood, and there's nothing like the relationship between brothers. There is a certain, there's a mystery, there's an ancient competitiveness.
I mean, you love each other and you're angry at each other all the time, and it's
fighting and grinding one another, and it's this constant battle between these entities. And I've got my brothers as well, and you've got these contentious relationships with them, and it sort of molds you into something else. And I think
it makes you, yeah.
And there's definitely the nod towards them because they're such a fantastic band.
They're great people. They're a great band. So the whole idea with Friends with Pools was kind of just poking fun at them a little bit at the start.
So the arseholes have started poking fun at us.
And so then now if you check their page out now, they started doing the same to us, and they call us all bums and things like that. But it's just, it's
scratch that. They're an awful band and we hate them.
It's my brother. I love him more than anything in this world, and I decided if I'm going to do this thing, I really want to pull him in some way. And he's not, because I was in a band with him before this called ALLHANDS. I decided, even though we're not part of the same band, I really want to, kind of keep him in it. And I called him immediately and I told him, cool, I've got this idea for a song. We actually started working on the riff for the song when we were still in the band together, and we never used it in the band that we were together in. And I brought it to Eugene and we did the song, and I told him, okay, cool, I'm going to call the song Friends with Pools. That fine. And he was so cool with it from the start. He was like, yeah, that's fucking cool. He loves it. Let's run with this, and let's try to create this weird thing between the two bands where it becomes a bit, a bit muddled and you're not sure exactly what's going on and stuff. So it's just a bit of fun and, giving respect to the people that matter.
Definitely.
Good catch on that, by the way.
Yeah, because I saw actually on your Instagram post, I saw that all bums. And I was like, this is brilliant. Like, I laughed at that. And then I saw that you guys said something about Friends with Pools. So I thought there was like a small rivalry going on, but it all makes
it's not.
It's brotherhood.
You should get them on. They're the best guys.
I
they're
should.
fantastic.
Terrible people we hate.
No, but there's no rivalry. It's all in good fun. We had a conversation about this, and it's that a lot of people in the industry take it so seriously, and it's it's so intense, and it's my craft and blah blah blah. We decided to just fuck around with that, and let's just mess around with each other and create this beef that doesn't exist at all, just to have some fun. And yeah, so that's all it is. It's just, at the end of the day, we might be 30 and we might all have jobs or, be married, but we're all just kids. We're just kids wanting to have some fun. Yeah.
Exactly. And I mean, nothing has to be serious all the time. Like,
no, it doesn't.
mean,
nothing should be serious all the time.
No ways. I mean, imagine if everything was so serious. How draining would life be?
Serious is boring, man. We've got not serious shit going on in the world at the moment. And that's the whole point, is like everything is fucked. Everything is serious and everything is rough and everything is intense and everything is everything all the time and it's happening like this. And, what you're going to do, you can either get swallowed up by it or you could just sit back and just laugh at it. I mean, have fun.
Exactly. So the second thing that I've noticed from the album is there's a song on there called Daniel. So is it the obvious
an unadulterated narcissism? Our vocalist is the biggest narcissist in the world. It is terrible. It's awful.
No. it's a little bit true, but not completely. I don't know. Do you know Daniel Johnston?
I do not. I feel like I'm gonna write it down and Google it later.
Write it down. Daniel Johnston. He died last year. He was this amazing guy who made the most amazing music in the world, and art and everything. He was just this incredible guy, and passed away last year, way too young. And I was really inspired by him. Not his music as much, but just the whole idea of this guy, because he was crazy, man. He lived with his parents until they died, and then he lived by himself. And he was just, it's an amazing story.
They were emotional, I think. Developmental problems?
Yeah, he's got some problems. I'm not sure exactly, what his issues were, but he's got, different problems.
He was a huge influence on Nirvana.
Yeah, he was a massive influence on Nirvana, actually, back in the day. When he died, it really touched me. So if you listen to the lyrics in Daniel, it borrows a bit from him as well. There's one of his most famous songs is True Love Will Find You in the End. And that's one of the lyrics in the song as well, is True Love Will Find You in the End. So it started out as being a song about Daniel Johnston, and it ended up being a slightly more narcissistic project where I ended up writing a bit more about myself than I wanted to. But here's the interesting thing. My wife's name is also Danielle. She's Danielle. It's just Daniel with an E. So a lot of it's about her as well. So it ended up being this weird song about Daniel Johnston, my wife, and myself. Yeah.
Documentary. It wasn't a documentary. It's sort of it's called Hi, How Are You, Daniel Johnston? It's sort of this conversation Daniel Johnston has with his younger self and sort of the fears he had and whether his dreams were realized. It was actually what a beautiful little film.
It's really something that if you're not familiar with his work, I'm gonna say it again, Daniel Johnston, you should really check it out. There's a lot of it, so work through it, and he wrote a song for Mountain Dew Cool Drink brand, so he's got a lot of shit, but it's really, we all go through these things. We see celebrity deaths. Different people are touched by different celebrities dying. I know when Robin Williams passed away, a lot of people were touched by that, and same with Anthony Bourdain and things like that. And for me, the one that really resonated with me and that really, hurt me was Daniel Johnston passing away. So, because I really felt that the world was poorer afterwards than it was before he was dead. At the same time, it's a very personal song about myself, but also about, him.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. And I'm glad that we could clear that up for people, because obviously for me, it was Daniel the vocalist, is this what's happening? And the story behind it is so amazing, and I think to whoever is listening to the song would kind of understand his story and your wife's story and how that all kind of formed you as a person as well.
Yeah, but that's what it's about. It's exactly that. What you just said now is exactly the whole crux of the thing. Is about how these people and these things form you as a person, and how the person that you are now isn't because of you. It's because of the people that whether you know them directly or whether they influenced you. But it's the person you are now is influenced by that, and you are the person you are today because of having, either read or listened to or having coming into contact with certain people. And that's what makes you. And that's basically what Daniel's about. It's about, how you are defined by the people around you rather than yourself.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You get people recognize you by the people that you hang out with. And my mom said that to me while I was in school and growing up. It's remember who you make your friends, or choose to be your friends, because those are the people that you're going to be remembered by. And it's really
shout out to your mom. She's a smart lady. Yeah.
Thank you, Mama Leti.
That's exactly it, though. I think that's it. Getting a greater awareness of yourself and realizing that you're nothing without the people around you.
Exactly. So the very last question that I have for you guys is, what would you say is your vision for the band? So what would you like to give back to your listeners and your followers and fans? What would you say is your vision for the band?
I don't know, man. I want everyone to feel good. If what we do at any point at when you listen to us kind of touches something in you and makes you feel that everything is okay for a second, or that someone kind of gets you, or that you can relate to something that's, you know, bigger than yourself, or you can be part of something that's not just you and your world, and then we've done our job. It's as easy as that. It's we're all connected. And
So the final question that I have for you, and I am so excited for this. So you guys are doing your very first live show on the 16th of October, and this is also going to be your EP launch. So how are you guys feeling about this, and can you tell us more about it?
Thanks, Shamina. Yes, the wonderful people at Fox Lounge Studios have reached out to us, and they actually wanted to do this. And what fantastic people!
they're great.
They've done so much, and they're in constant contact with us. So we're doing the gig at Take Note Technologies at in Edenvale.
Yeah, we're playing with Friends with Pools, which we were very excited about. It's playing with my brother, and it's the first.
Playing with Treble Bypass as well.
Yeah.
And yeah, like I stated, it's the first actual gig, so they can smell the sweat and terrible body odor on stage. So
yeah, we're excited about that. And if you're in the area and you want to come see us, that'd be great, because that's actually the first one we're going to do in front of actual people, because all the shows leading up to this are only streaming shows. So yeah, we're really amped about that. And like we said, you're invited and you got a ticket.
That is so amazing, because I live probably like 15 minutes away from Edenvale, so I will most definitely be there. So, and I hope that whoever listens to this also joins us for the show and your very first live show and the EP launch. I think it's going to be absolutely amazing.
Thank you. We think so too. We hope so.
Shamina, listen, thank you so much for this. Thank you.
Yeah, you're
so
great. We were very stressed out and everything beforehand, but you're fantastic. Thank you very much.
Yeah, you've made us feel at home.
I'm so glad that you guys enjoyed this, and like at least it wasn't stressful at the end, because I mean, at the end of the day, we're all just artists talking about what we're passionate about.
Yeah.
So shout out to the Offstage podcast with Shamina.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Glad to be here.
Great, guys. Thank you so much for your time. And it's been an absolute pleasure talking to you. And
thank you very much.
Thank you very much. You were wonderful. Thank you for talking to us, and thank you for being patient with us.